10 yesterday off because it was my birthday and I'm allowed to do that sort of thing. All right. And it was a good day. I had chocolate potato cake with caramel frosting. I chilled hard. It was wonderful. So, a couple of things. So, last time I did a video about, um, I guess on day 9, we talked about telling people, like coming out to what, coming out to our supportive family and friends about our new business because it's really tempting to just work on it in secret and only tell people when it's successful. But the problem is that we need people's help if it's going to be successful. One of the things I mentioned doing, like sort of brief, which I don't think, is adding it, say, as a business or something that you do on your Facebook profile. So I just kind of wanted to show you how that works. So what I want to do here is I have some of my jobs turned off because I've had a lot of jobs. So I'm going to add a workplace and I'm going to call it add a workplace. Connect. This account is not connected to that page. I'm the and it's I currently work here and I started this in April of 2020. I'm going to say save. So that's going to appear now on my Facebook profile. And you can do the same thing. And it'll connect, by the way, if you're right now, my business page is not connected to this profile, so it didn't pull up. Also, like almost nobody likes it. So I need to just go grab that link and put it in here. And when someone clicks on it, it will go to that particular page. Now, today we're going to talk a little bit about something called content marketing. So essentially what we've been doing is we have our landing page, we have our social media, we have our email list that we're building, and now we've told our friends. So the question you're probably wondering is, well, how do I tell other people that aren't my friends what's going on? And what we need to do, as we learned on day 9, which is we can't like try to be necessarily hardcore selling stuff all the time. We need to be giving value and putting our names out there and putting our link to our website out there and driving traffic that way. So there's a whole field, which probably if you were going to say, what field are you in? And I was at some kind of conference, I might say that I'm into content marketing. So content marketing is where you create content and it kind of indirectly markets you. So an example of content marketing, so if you medium.com is an example of one of these. There's other sites like this, like Huffington Post and whatever, where you can contribute things, and in turn for contributing, you get what's called an author credit. So here's an article about how to look effortlessly stylish every day. Good style doesn't have to be expensive. Now, as you see here, Megan's name is clickable. And by clicking on this, I can see kind of what her deal is, which is, she has a digest free resource and courses at her website. Okay, so she posts things to Medium into different categories. So it looks like she's, posted in productivity, mental health, and self-improvement, in addition to this style section. And by putting her article here, if someone's looking for information about style, they're running into this article by Megan, for example. So it's a little bit indirect, but as we see here, the actual article, talks about, people can highlight, I guess, on Medium too. They clap if they like something or bookmark it. Basically, it's almost like she wrote a guest post of a blog, but she wrote it somewhere where a lot of people were going for this kind of information. And she's also, as you saw, she built her own following. She has 12,000 people that follow her on Medium. Now, I'm not going to say you're going to write one article and have 12,000 followers, like at all. I have a Medium account, and I think I've posted there the kinds of essays that I wouldn't post on the business blog because they don't seem to fit there. Um, but I want to kind of put out there. So I guess like my sort of personal essay, creative writing kind of stuff. And I don't know, I think I have like 20 followers or something. I haven't done a lot with it, but my articles have gotten a lot of reads. You know what I mean? Like if I have one article that's gotten like, a few thousand on Medium. Um, like I said, I'm not saying you have to use Medium, but what I want you to do is think about creating something. So in this case, how to effortlessly look stylish every day, how to create something that is somebody could read somewhere, think, oh, wow, this person or this company is really cool or useful or interesting. And then they would, start seeing your name, start recognizing you. So one place to do content marketing is a largely trafficked website, like I said, like a Medium situation. The other way to do content marketing is to say, you know what, Nicole, I don't care if people know my name. I just want people to come to my website and do my thing. So a popular concept for this is to have what's called a white paper. So a free downloadable white paper. So this is a co-working space I run in upstate New York. And when you run a co-working space in a rural area, my target audience is pretty much like a micro business or a very small business owner. And I'm not just serving, people who necessarily need desks, but we have regular hours that we're open when there's not a pandemic. So I want the kinds of businesses that people who are kind of bootstrapping, who want some visibility, who need maybe a place to have meetings or to have people be able to pick up materials. And so I wrote this ebook called 100 Businesses You Can Start in St. Lawrence County for $100 or less. So this is about it's sort of like it's a list, but each one item has, a couple of sentences with it. So if I said, hey, start a drop-off sewing service, a lot of times people don't get their sewing done because they don't know how much it's going to cost. So, you can have hours at Anchor Space and you could come in and, so that's a little long, but I made them short and I didn't constantly plug Anchor Space, I promise. But it was just this idea that like, listen, if you want to have a side business or something like that, this is what this ebook's about. And so if someone fills in their name and email, this is a MailChimp thing, guys. This is a MailChimp. And so when they sign up for this list, MailChimp automatically sends them a link to this ebook. Now, if you want to use Constant Contact or another service, you can do that. You make a special little like kind of list and you say, okay, anytime someone fills out a form and joins this list, send them this email, and the email has a link to the PDF in it. So in one scenario, I'm kind of getting my name out there. I'm getting a back to my website sort of indirectly. And I am providing value and getting kind of my name out there and building some notoriety. In the other, I'm driving people to the website. Now, admittedly, this has a lot smaller of an audience. I believe that this, and what I did was when I put this out, I put to a couple local Facebook groups like, hey, I just put this thing together. By the way, I did this in Canva. Like this ebook is in Canva. I can even show it to you right now. We've got a couple minutes. So in Canva, besides the individual, like single social media posts, and also put together actual like proposals and things like that. So let me just go see where I put that. It was a while ago that I did this, guys. Let's see. I'm looking for. Yeah, I'm starting one about day trips from Bar Harbor. Actually, let's just open that one just because it's not done yet, but fair enough. So as you see here, I have like individual pages that I'm laying out, and so each one of these sections is its own thing. I have to line them up and obviously I got to cut down Otter Creek. That was a little wordy. So I'm trying to get them all so they're about the same length, and then obviously when I want to add a new page, I can click this plus button and it adds another page. Now, if I want to copy the same, if I want to just say, I want to copy the same formatting as this page, I would say duplicate. So as you see here now, I have two main sculpture trail ones, and I could just, but this way I can kind of inherit some of the layout of the other one. So one of these is a lot less work, and you get kind of more general kind of exposure, some visibility of your website. And if someone Googles this person or Googles their business, this article might come up. In the other, I'm kind of creating an asset that lives on my website. But in a lot of ways, I'm gonna work a little harder because I have to lay it out, and then I have to get people to my website and sign up for this. So like I said, so I put together this thing, this 100 Businesses ebook in Canva. I exported it as a PDF print quality, right? Downloaded it, uploaded it to the internet onto my, onto my website, and marketed it from there. I probably have had 40 people sign up for this, and I ended up just kind of putting out to the local Facebook groups like, hey, I put together this guide. I want to help people in St. Lawrence County start businesses. If you know somebody who wants to make some extra money or is thinking about a side business, here's where they can get this ebook. So yeah, so I probably posted that to 3 or 4 groups. But the thing was, and this is true in both of these cases, by the way. So in the case of my stylish blog that I write on Popular website, or in the case that I have this thing, it gives other people a way to talk about your business without them being like, oh, go buy my friend's product. They can say, oh, this download was really useful, or oh, this article is really cool and my friend wrote it. And it feels a lot less gross of that. Well, not to say that selling things is gross, but it feels a lot more authentic for them to share something like a free article or a free book to their social media audience than it does to say, oh, go buy my friend's product. Even though it is adjacent to. I don't know why it's different, but it's different. So what I suggest that you do is go ahead and use Google Drive. I like to draft everything in Google Drive. If you want to use Microsoft Word or Evernote or whatever, fine. And think about something that you know about that is related to your business. So I might do like French Canadian ladies, like you need to know about. I might be like, here's 7 French Canadian ladies you need to know about right now. Hey, Margaret Chase Smith. Yeah, she was, so I could write this kind of cool, like French Canadian lady blog. And now I could post that to my Medium account, linking back to my website, or I can make it an ebook and make people come to my website to download it. So this part of this 2020 Make Some Money is a bit of a choose your own adventure situation where you can pick one of these and go with it. I'm just going to tell you, this one is way less work. This one is, you're going to get actual email addresses from it. So it's way more work. So, a day or so of work to get 40 email addresses versus Medium. It's just that people see my stuff and they might come to my website from there. Now, I will say something that we want to do over time, and we'll talk about this a little bit more in later days, is part of what makes a business seem reputable is a lot of what are called inbound links. So people or other businesses linking to you. And the example I always use when I give a workshop is, okay, so if you have one website that has 3 other websites linking to it, and an almost identical website that has 250, which one does Google think is more relevant? Well, the one that's being linked to more. And so what we want to do is over time, we want to build up reasons, we want to build up links coming into our website. So this is one way to do that. Now, there is a reason that a lot of people don't do content marketing very much or very well. It's because it's look at this, this is a 9-minute read. It took her probably way more than 9 minutes to write it and edit it and put it on the site. What I'm asking you to do isn't necessarily easy. So today, I guess what I'm going to say is have this idea of, do I want to put this as a blog somewhere, or do I want to make it a downloadable book? I want to have you thinking about that but knowing that one is a lot more work, but that you get actual email addresses from it. And one, though, I mean, this is something you need to get comfortable sort of doing. And if you're not comfortable doing this, thinking about someone you could work with who is. So maybe you have a friend who's a really good writer and she loves your stuff, and you could like do a little trade, or you could pay someone, you know. The thing with running a business is we got to be kind of generalists. And I'm not saying you have to be an amazing writer, but I'm saying that part of getting your business name out there is content marketing, and part of content is writing. I'll talk about other forms of content later on in this course, but okay, let me get back to what I was saying. So in the back of your mind today, as you're writing this thing, you're going to just open up a Google Drive document, and you're just going to start writing something of value. Like I said, it's not an article about like, this is 10,000 reasons you should come buy my stuff. It's something adjacent to your product or service that somebody else would find interesting or valuable. I want you to start writing the thing. But as you're writing it, I want you to think about, where do I want this piece of writing to live? Do I want it to live on my website and lay it out and all that? Or do I want it to live someplace that has a high amount of traffic, that's maybe going to make people think like, oh, wow, they're a published author on this site, even though it's not necessarily super hard to do, guys. Like I said, start writing it. I'm not saying you're not going to finish it today, but at least outline it. So maybe like for me, I want to write a new, by the way, I'm not logged into my usual account, which has a ton of crap in it. So my apologies. Let's see here. Oh, come on. Just want a new document. I'm having a hard time clicking today. There we go. I just want a new document. And you can do this with your Gmail address that you set up, and start like just outlining your content. Start thinking about your idea. Don't think about necessarily where to put it yet, but have that in the back of your mind. Whether it's going to live on your website. Now, the other third thing, I guess, is it could be a blog on your own website. Now, we haven't talked about, we have a landing page right now. We don't have a full-on website. This thing I'm showing you is something you can add to your landing. Like, this is just an email sign-up form, which you already have. And all we would do is connect the email sign-up form to the free ebook that you're making if you were going to go that route. We haven't talked about building out your actual website yet. The landing page is a stand-in. So I'm going to ignore that third option, but if you do have a full-on website that has multiple pages on it, you could put the blog on your own website. But in my mind, if you're doing this course, you're either going to put it on Medium, HuffPost. I'll look up some other ones and put them in the blog, or when I post it tonight on the main website. Or you're going to do an ebook. You're going to lay it out, and you're going to let people subscribe and get something for free and get their email address. But your main task today, besides having it in the back of your mind, is writing something of value, creating your first piece of content marketing. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Some of you have messaged me about different things that have come up, mainly technical things, but and a little bit of business strategy things. But if you leave a comment too on the video, unless it's a very specific, like I'm having this very specific issue of my domain, which is what somebody's having right now. If it's general, I do ask that you post your question to the video, because if you have the question, so do other people, and you don't need to be shy about it. Because the other thing too, you guys, is that like all this stuff kind of goes together. And so what I'm trying to do is kind of give it piece by piece. So sometimes I might have accidentally glossed over something that I meant to cover, or that I'm going to be covering later. And so I can clarify. So if you have the question, other people do too. And I'm a little bit too close to this to be able to actually evaluate that. So any comments or questions you have, if you post them to wherever you see this video, or if you post a comment on 2020makesomemoney.com underneath whatever day lesson that you have the question on, then everyone can see it and learn from it. And I can improve this course if I'm going to do it again in the future. So happy day 10. Good luck creating your first piece of content marketing. And tomorrow we will kind of hopefully finish it off. So don't worry about writing the whole thing today. You just want to get it at least kind of roughed out. We'll talk a little bit about things like formatting and layout and interlinking and all that. But just get the idea down, get it roughed out, and I think that will be a day well spent on day 10 here. All right. Have a great day, you guys. Nice to see you, and have a great rest of your day.